Is CG about to make one of its biggest mistakes? I've got a bad feeling about this. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe? And I know this is a double video kind of day, but I was reading through my comments and my YouTube and it pinged something in my brain and immediately filled me with dread. Now, as you are aware, galactic challenges are a thing of the past, right? They're done, they're over. In replacement, we are getting this new thing called era challenges, okay? And era challenges are going to start this week. There are going to be 6 tiers. You require Stormtrooper Luke, but it does have recommended era levels for each tier of 15, 25, 35, 55, 70, and 75, okay? Now these are obnoxiously high and impossible to reach without spending money. I mean, the 15 you can do free to play with crystals, right? But everything above that is going to require some spending. Please see my video earlier today or link above my head. Hopefully I remember to actually put that link in, right? So, and what these era challenges give is they award basically the early tiers give you next to nothing in terms of era currency that you can use towards your relic 10 mats and stuff like that. And the top end gives you a big chadunkadunk, essentially. They got a big old hefty wallop, which is kind of cool, right? This video, though, is not about era challenges. It isn't. And in order for me to explain what this video is about, we have to look more broadly back at the original post that CG did about the era update and things that people have come to expect as standard for eras and, most importantly, for journey guide unlocks. If we were to mosey back to the era of the anniversary announcement, we can see a little bit of discussion here around what originally looked like something really, really positive and good. Era Journey Guide will work a little differently than normal Journey Guide events, talking about your Jedi Master Mace Windows, your Galactic Legends, all that sort of gubbins. The Era Journey events will start during week 9 of the era, which is when the 5th marquee of the era is released. Era Journey Guide units will be available at 4 stars to allow players to use them early during the era. This Era Journey Guide will be structured as follows. Now, that first paragraph there, really positive, right? You can get your brand new Era Journey characters at 4 stars. You don't need to wait until 7 stars. You can get them 4 star, 5 star, 6 star, and then eventually 7 star. However, this is the big but. Tier 1 requires the first 5 era marquees at 4 stars. This is not surprising, 5 characters, because that's all that's released at the time. 4 stars, get it, you can't unlock a 3 star. And era level 45, and we'll continue to unlock the Journey Guide unit at 4 stars. And if we were to take a look at the structure over here of the Era Journey Guide setup, you can see that it lasts for a month, right? The Era Journey Guide event will be in there for the last month of the era, right? So you've got from here till here to get your characters to 4 star and level 45 to get the unlock. The part that really worries me is it says here the 5-star Era Journey Guide unit will require 5 marquees at 5 stars. The 6-star and the 7-star version of the Journey Guide will become available when the 6th marquee releases, which will be Darth Vader this time, and will require all 6 marquees at 6 stars and 7 stars respectively. So 6 stars for the 6-star unlock, 7 stars for the 7-star unlock. A significant amount of time after the era, the Journey Guide will become a legacy event, but it will have different requirements as the marquees will no longer be era units. My big concern is what CG is not telling us here. Over here they say era level 45, but what era level do we need to get the 5-star unlock? What era level do we need for the 6-star unlock, and what era level will we need for the 7-star unlock? Because I'm telling you right now, if you need to go beyond era level 65 or beyond era level 70, they are officially paywalling this character, completely paywalling this character behind real world cash. And real world cash is the only way to get it. In the literal sense of the word, these materials here, the Mark 7 Auric Ability modules and the Mark 5 Masterwork Performance cores, are the only way that currently exists in the game to go beyond level 70. And you cannot get them anywhere else apart from this pack, okay? Now, we could theorize about where the error levels will be required for the upcoming journey guide, but they have not been confirmed. So this is 100%, and I will say this right now, this is 100% pure speculation. There is no confirmation that there are any error levels beyond error level 45 for the first tier. So I could be going off the rails about absolutely nothing here, but I am worried. I am worried because if you take a look over here, we can get to 65 for free by the end of the event. If you have whaled on characters, you'll be able to get to 70 without spending any money on the materials. But from 70, because you'll get 65 to 70 levels through doing higher tier Colosseum battles, essentially. You'll be able to get your characters to 70 through doing that, right? But from 70 onwards, you can't do it. You can't get the materials outside of whaling, okay? So if we go to the level up, we go all the way down here to 65. This is where it gets hard. In order to go to 66, you need to be star level 4. And then once you get to 70, this is where it changes. Let me move me up here. So when you get to 70, we start introducing this new material over here, this Mark 6 Auric ability module. And when you get to 75, you get this one over here, the Masterwork Performance Core Mark 7. Now, those materials are not available in the game outside of that pack. You can't get them through defeating tiers of the Conquest Colosseum bosses, and you don't get them from rewards from marquee units. The rewards from marquee units kind of stop when you get to the sort of, I want to say this sort of region. These Mark 6 Besh ability modules, you do get these if you have whaled on the characters, particularly in Darth Vader, Inquisitor Barriss. Those are in the data mines as being part of the marquee at like 5-star unlocks. But the rest of it, nope. You can only do it with money. And my big worry about this, guys, is if CG is deciding to introduce that for brand new journey guide events, like what we're going to see with a fan favorite in Maul, Hate Fueled, right? If they're adding an additional paywall on top of this, and in their own words, we are going to have to wait, what did they call it? A significant amount of time after the error to get the journey guide like you normally would. As we know, a year after the release, they become permanent journey guide events. Normally, journey guide events come around about every 3 months, right? This is suggesting it's going to be longer wait. This is suggesting it's going to be a longer wait than 3 months. Could it be 6 months? Could it be 9 months? I don't know. Maybe you get one return for the event before it eventually goes permanently into the journey guide, right? And the reason they're pushing it out further is because we are now not able to farm character shards until much later. Before, it would take about a month, 6 weeks roughly, before it would go to like shipments, and then another month, 6 weeks before it would go free to play farmable on a node. Now you're going to have to wait essentially the entire 3 months for loot to become farmable, and then an extra 2 weeks on top. So it means that for the journey guide event, they need to push it out a little bit further because nobody will have chance to actually farm the character. My issue is, if that's like, I don't see the reason why I would be spending money on a character unlock anymore. Like, if they say put Maul, and let's say they're being generous and they say, oh, you only need error level 75 to get the 7-star unlock for this new Maul, which means I would have to quite literally go into the store over here, and I would need to buy this pack 3 times. So, you know, I know in the grand scheme of things, we're looking at like £45 to an extra £50 on top of the 700-800 that you've spent on marquees already. But what if it's higher? What if you have to go to 85? What if you have to go to 95? And you have to spend even more? What if you have to spend like an additional $100-150 on top of everything that you've spent? There is no reason for someone like me to unlock a character to 7 stars if I then can't get the journey guide at the end of it. That's why we do it. I do it so I can find out the new units, test out the new comps, and then do the new unlock. I do video content based on that. You know, we did it with Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, we did it with Pirate King Hondo, we did it with Balin, we did it with basically every legendary that's come out since like Jar Jar, I want to say. Might be a little bit further beyond that even. But if this system is changing to require additional whaling on top of all of the whaling that you've done already just to get the unlock, and let's be real, this is only if it's still just level 75. If we have to go beyond level 75 all the way up to 80, it's not going to be 3 purchases of this. It's going to be even more. If you have to be error level 95, which is the equivalent of Relic 6, it's going to be even more again. So it's just adding additional cost on top of. I know people can say, oh yeah, but before you needed to get Relic 5 characters to get, like, Jedi Master Mace Windu, for example, right? You needed a full team of Relic 5 characters in order to get that unlock done, right? And in order for us to be the equivalent of Relic 5, that's error level 93. To get to 93 per character is going to cost a significant amount more money on top of stuff, for someone like me, going to Relic 5 is easy. I don't need to spend any money to go to Relic 5 or Relic 6. I'd take every new marquee to Relic 8. But if they're changing things and saying, yeah, but if you want that journey guide the first time round, you're going to have to drop an extra $100 per character on top of the 130 that you've just spent per character. Or you can wait 12 months. If that is the case, then there is no reason for someone like me to ever spend money on a marquee. Because it just doesn't have value to me anymore, right? Like, I do it for that day one legendary unlock. I think they've taken one of the best things about the new update, which is giving us 4-star journey unlocks at the cost of essentially gating that 7-star unlock behind another paywall on top of everything. I think if CG does go, and again, I will stipulate this is speculation, there is no confirmation on this, but it does worry me down to my boots. It worries me down to my boots that this could actually happen. And I will sit back by the bonfire with marshmallows and popcorn, and I will just watch the oncoming masses of pitchforks and torches as people lose their proverbial minds over it. Thoughts? Am I going crazy here? Or could this actually happen? Maybe I'm getting all worked up about nothing. Maybe. We'll find out soon though, won't we?